While these cars may be from the Fast and Furious movies, this movie review will neither be fast nor furious, nor will it be a review of the movies these cars are from. What's up, guys? It's movie review time. We're going to talk about another movie today. Today we're going to be talking about the 1985 made-for-HBO movie, The Park Is Mine, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Yaphet Kotto. So the basic crux of the movie is that Tommy Lee Jones is a disgruntled Vietnam vet. He's got a lot of issues from being in the war. He can't hold down a job. He's had a bad divorce. You know, you see this a lot in movies about Vietnam vets that come back to the United States. Trouble adjusting from the war. His friend, who also is the same position, Vietnam vet, struggling to survive, live in society, commits suicide at the beginning of the movie. And then Tommy Lee Jones is going through his things and discovers he has this grand plan of how he's going to take over Central Park in New York City. And he's gonna take over the park and everybody's gonna listen to him. He's gonna explain what's so messed up and what's so hard for the vets, and suddenly everyone's gonna understand. Tommy Lee Jones, since he's got nothing to lose, he's like, what the heck, this plan is for me. So he goes for it. He's got bombs planted all over the park, claymores, smoke bombs, landmines, you name it. It's turning Central Park into a war zone. This movie was made in 1985, so they couldn't really shoot it in New York City. They ended up filming it in Toronto, so you gotta kind of pretend it's New York. It doesn't really look like Central Park that much. But his plan works. He blows up the police station parking lot and a bunch of cars, gets everybody out of the park. He's got the park to himself, and of course it becomes a giant news story. The movie takes place around Veterans Day. He says he wants the park to himself for like 4 days until Veterans Day, and then he's gonna give up. The whole time he's on the radio, talking to people, talking to the news, explaining what's going on, why he's doing this. It's really interesting. It's a really far-fetched idea. I don't think anyone would ever actually pull this off. You probably would never make a movie about it today because it would be considered a horrible act of terrorism. But obviously it's gonna become national news. People are all over it. Yaphet Kotto is the sort of NYPD, SWAT team, police commissioner, guy in charge of the police, who is basically tasked with getting Tommy Lee Jones out of the park. And they try a couple times, it's not successful. Tommy Lee Jones is a very well-trained military machine. Does that in the movies a lot, you'll see. The police get thrown out of the park. They got a perimeter formed around the park, which I don't really understand. How could one man control all of Central Park? Isn't it giant? I don't have a complete acreage idea, but isn't it like miles of ground? Maybe I just don't understand how big Central Park really is. Whatever. But so it doesn't work. The police are just sort of content to let him finish his time in the park and then leave and give up. But the government, the deputy mayor of New York City, thinks it's a political catastrophe and it's gonna cause him to not get elected to be mayor again. So he's like, no, this guy's coming out. They end up hiring some mercenaries to go in after him. The mercenaries are hunting Tommy Lee Jones in the woods of the park. There's some cool action scenes. A newswoman basically jumps his fence with her camera, goes in to try and find the real story from Tommy Lee Jones. She ends up hooking up with him and does some interviews and stuff. He's talking about how hard life is. But then the mercenaries are hunting him and trying to kill him. And she's videotaping it. She's got the proof that the city's trying to have him killed. So, big shootout, blah, 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 end of the movie. Great things start happening. This movie came out, it's an HBO original movie. Came out when I was like 5 years old. I've seen this movie billions of times. I think it was one of those things that was just on like a never-ending loop on HBO when I was a kid, because it was one of their original movies, so they just showed it over and over and over. It's kind of like watching Tommy Lee Jones play G.I. Joe in the woods for an hour and a half. You know, he's wearing a camouflage outfit, mirrored sunglasses, with an AK-47, running around like a badass. Tommy Lee Jones, he's been in a gajillion things. No Country for Old Men, Under Siege, The Fugitive, U.S. Marshals. He directed a movie and starred in a movie that I really like called Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada. It's kind of a modern day Western. It's got that real sort of grungy, bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia vibe. Great movie. You know, I can't list off his entire filmography because everything he's in is great. Yaphet Kotto, the guy that plays the police officer. I talk about him a lot in my movie reviews. Maybe I got a thing for that dude. He was in Alien. He was in Across 110th Street. He was in another HBO original movie with Lou Diamond Phillips that was real awesome called Extreme Justice. I think he even popped up in a Freddy movie. That dude's in a little bit of everything too. It's got a soundtrack by Tangerine Dream. They do all the good soundtracks from the 80s. The best soundtrack ever was a movie called Sorcerer with Roy Schneider. Just on and on and on. They've done everything. You can't beat this one. It's a little tough to find. I don't think it was ever actually released on DVD. It sort of skipped right from VHS to a Blu-ray release. It's out on streaming. You can't stream it for free anywhere, not even on HBO. I think they sort of gave up on all their 80s movies and are just going with the modern day stuff on streaming. It's a great movie, great time. I can't recommend this one enough. I love Tommy Lee Jones. This is one of those ones like from being a kid, it just holds a special place in my heart. I grew up watching a lot of 80s action movies and war movies and cheesy stuff like that. I'm a child of the times, what can I say? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Are you guys enjoying the movie reviews? Do you like what we're doing here? Do you have any suggestions? What's a movie I should review? Tell me something you guys want to see, something you've never seen, maybe something I've seen before. I'm down for whatever. Leave me a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching.